Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my chicken nachos. And for the toppings, you're going to need cilantro, tomatoes, lettuce, onion, lemon, avocado, and jalapeños. And I use sour cream, but you guys could use whatever you want. So we're going to start by going over here. We're going to start by refrying our beans. So how I make my refried beans, I heated up the oil right here, but it's going to splash, so you guys got to be careful. You're going to need onions like this, like size, I guess. I basically cut them up, but I like them in big chunks. So I refry them. And then I have my little chiles in a bag. These are chiles de arbol. I basically just put a few in there because it gives a better flavor. Okay, that should be fine. Cool. And then, okay guys, so you basically just want to fry it like this on like a medium heat because it'll burn you. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna take my chickens out from boiling. Okay, so I have my boiled chicken here. Basically, when I boiled it, I just filled up the water until it went over the chicken, and then I put an onion and some salt in it. And then you need shredded chicken, so I'm just gonna use this because I'm lazy and I don't like to shred it. Okay, so it's gonna look like that, which is way more easier than shredding it with like a fork. Okay, so your onions and your chiles are gonna look like this. And I take out the chiles because I don't like it when they're crushed into my frijoles. I just like it when it gives it the flavor. But keep them and put them on the side because I do put them back after. Okay, so after that, I basically just get my frijoles. You have to leave some of the water in it so that way when you fry it, it's not so dry. Okay, so I basically keep going. I don't put all the water because then it's gonna be too wet.
But yeah, that's basically it. So I just keep putting it. Well, you can finish like all the beans, but I'm just gonna make enough for us, like in the house, because.
So it should like this. You should put I like my beans a little bit wetter, so I leave a lot of water. So I'm gonna turn it a little bit high so it could like start a boil. And then let me come over here. Then I'm gonna remove this and just put it off to the side. Then I'm gonna heat up this pan. This is for the chicken because I always refry my chicken just so I could add a little bit of flavor to it. So I put it on a high heat just to take away all the water. So that way when you add the oil, it doesn't splash all over you. Okay, so basically I add some oil in here. That's for the chicken, by the way. So my cheese is in like a little tub already, but you could buy it comes in like a big can. They sell it like anywhere. So I basically heat it up in there and on the stove. So for the chicken, I'm gonna add a little bit of onion. Let me turn this down. So I add a lot of onion just because I like it like that. Then I add some tomato. And all of this is kind of just for flavor. I don't really like tomato that much, but when I refry it for the chicken, it tastes really good. So I'm gonna let that sit, and then over here, my beans should be looking like this, like it's boiling already. When a little bit of the water goes down, that's when I'm gonna start smashing them. Okay, so the onions and the tomatoes are gonna look exactly like this. They're gonna start to get softer. Let me highlight it a little bit. Okay, so when you see that it gets to about this much where it's not too soft and squishy, I add the chicken in to the tomato and onion. And then I just season it with some knorr. I don't really have any more, so I'm just gonna use the rest of it. Then I also use some black pepper. I put a lot because it's a lot of chicken. I put garlic powder. I mean, no, this is onion powder. Looks like that. And then I put garlic powder. And then I just put like a little bit of salt. Then I just toss it in. Just like that, so all of the onions and the tomato could come to the top and the seasonings could mix in. Okay, so I'm gonna let that fry for a bit, and let's go back to my beans. So they should look about like that. So I have this thing to use as a smasher because I don't have the thing for the beans. So we're just gonna work with what we have. So I use this, and then I just go in circles kind of and just smash it. Exactly like this. Oh, shit. Until you get most of the beans smushed. And it's okay if you put too much water, because you could just leave it on here and the water will end up kind of just getting soaked up. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that for a bit to just kind of sit there. And you want to lower it down because sometimes the bubbles are gonna start to splash on it. Okay, and then for my cheese, I like to add milk to it, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of milk. You could just eyeball it so it could get a little bit liquidy. And I also like to add the jalapeno juice to make it a little bit spicy. Okay, like that. Okay, so then I just mix it in. Okay, so it's gonna look like this, a little bit clumpy, so we're just gonna wait until it isn't as thick. Okay, so back to the chicken over here. So it's just gonna be refried like that. I don't fry for too long just because there's no need to, it's already cooked chicken. So this is done already. So let me just put it off to the side. And then our beans are just gonna look like this. I kind of keep mashing them like while they're cooking. Okay. So I'm gonna leave that to sit there. And then while that's sitting there, I'm gonna start to make the chips. Okay, so the beans are done. They should look something like that. And they're gonna be like a little bit thick. I like them thick and I like them kind of wet because then all this water ends up drying up. And then you don't want your beans to be all dry. So I'm just gonna leave it over here. And then for the cheese, it's gonna look, like this. Like it's supposed to look kind of watery, run down a little bit. So we're gonna leave that to sit. Okay, so it should look exactly like this. It should look really liquidy. So I basically turned it off already. So I'm just gonna transfer it into another bowl over here. Slowly. Then I add my chiles back inside of the beans, so that and then I mix it so that way it could keep the flavor of it without being all crushed up and stuff. Okay. So while we're waiting for this to heat up, we're gonna come over here so I can show you guys basically just how I make them, I guess, how I cut it. But it's really easy. I basically just cut it into little triangles, like little pizzas. Like that. Okay, so now I usually test it just by going like that, and if it bubbles then it's ready. So I just drop them in. So I take a few, and I use a small little pot so that way I don't use that much oil for it. And I feel like it cooks faster this way, in my opinion. So I just toss a couple in there. And don't be afraid to cut a lot because then it all soaks down. So it's fine. This will take about 2 to 3 minutes to cook. So over here I already have a little bowl set for these. And I put a little bit napkin in it so that way it could soak up the excess oil. Okay, so they should be, when you first put them in, they're gonna look like this. I switched it to a bigger pot because it was just taking too long. So this is what it looks like when it's done. I kind of burn them sometimes because I just leave them sitting there. So we're gonna come over here and I'm gonna plate them right. So basically I just put, after they're done dripping, like the oil is done dripping off a little bit. So basically I just plate it. So basically I plate it just like that. And then I come over to my beans. And I'm warming them up right now actually. But I just get some and kind of sprinkle it over. And you could put as much as you like. I love beans, so I put a lot on mine. And then I just grab the clippers and I put the chicken on top. I do the same exact thing. I sprinkle it. And it's okay if you get big chunks of chicken. Like, so then I go over here. And this is where I put the cheese sauce. So I just drizzle it all over. And I love a lot of cheese, so I just let it melt all over it. And put more, just a little bit. Okay. And then this is the time where you put whatever you like on yours. And I like onions, so I just put some onion and some cilantro. Usually I mix it in, but this time I didn't just because I was lazy. And then I always like to put avocado on it whenever I have it. Just because I like the taste of avocado, I guess, with nachos. So I just get some, I cut it, and then I just put it right on top. And so with my cream, I just kind of put it anywhere. There you go. And that's how you make the famous chicken nachos.